Chinese banks, such as ICBC, has been willing to help Chinese companies going global. But we see that the Chinese bank these days, their operation around the world is still very limited. And therefore, people are asking, how can you be of help?
Well, that's a very good question. I think I would say that the Chinese bank in general is a little bit behind of the Chinese companies in terms of investing.
Why is that? Are you so comfortable because you're state-owned banks?
No, banks are, we are very risk reverse, so we want to make sure that we are going to make money because we are a commercial bank. So we want to see where the opportunities are. So when you say that we're willing to help, I think more importantly, we see the opportunity, we're willing to be part of that opportunity and make money during the process. For us, I think ICBC right now is the most international Chinese banks among all the Chinese banks.
What do you mean by that?
We have operations in 41 countries and regions. I think that has the most number of countries and regions. That doesn't even account the investment we made in Standard Bank in Johannesburg in South Africa, where they have operations in 18 African countries, sub-Sahara, which is not part of the 41 number I just gave to you. For us, we look opportunities on three fronts and three reasons. One is our clients are going international. So they are investing internationally, they need financial service. Secondly, we have our own strategy and expansion need to be going international. And thirdly, we want to capture with the trade flows and China become the largest trading country in the world. So such a trade flow, we want to capture that. So we see plenty of business opportunities, and that's the reason we are investing internationally. And so far, our operation has been very good and very profitable.
Compared to the other parts of the world, it seems that you are very active, ICBC, in Africa. Many wonder what is the reason behind this. Is China having a lot of strategies behind your operation? And secondly, is it because elsewhere it can be very difficult and therefore Africa is an easier stepstone?
Certainly that we see the business opportunity in Africa very appealing to a bank like ICBC. When we made an investment into Standard Bank back in 7-8 years ago, I think Africa was, we see the opportunities going coming up. And I think with our investment there, which we made money, first on the stock we bought. Secondly, on the cooperation we are having with Standard Bank in terms of our business corporations, so many projects going on between our bank and their bank in terms of servicing some of the African local projects and also the China-Africa related projects. And thirdly, I think the opportunities in Africa has been appealing for us because it's such an emerging market and so many experience China can share with these countries. There's so many lessons that we learned from our development in the past 30, 40 years, and so many lessons the African countries can learn from us. So we see the opportunity just exactly the right stage for them to learn from us, not only business-wise, but also some of the policies and rules and laws, etc. So this way that I think it's really a win-win situation, and we are just lucky that we're benefiting from this win-win situation economically.
Talking about the know-how and the management style, people have been wondering whether Chinese banks, particularly a huge bank like yours, are really up there to learn and also to change, to accommodate, to innovate, because they feel you have a state-owned bank and background in a way, and therefore the domestic market is already very comfortable for you guys, and there's less willingness to learn and to be bold in a way.
That's absolutely not true. I think learning is in our culture, and ICBC is building ourselves as a learning organization, and we are learning every day and from all different fronts. Certainly we have our own culture in terms of the way that we conduct ourselves.
What kind of culture is that?
I think ICBC's culture first and foremost is I would classify as a client first. Secondly, we put our shareholder interest clearly in the front, and we put our employee in the front, and being very honest and conservative. As a big commercial bank, we need to be conservative. And obviously, we are everywhere in the real economy here in China. And I think all these cultures helped in terms of what we want to do. But I want to come back to the learning that you just mentioned. I think going international is a big challenge For going to a different culture, different country is a challenge for everyone. Even for multinational companies who are much more experienced. For ICBC, certainly it's a challenge. But we are, counter that challenge by training our people, let our team learn, really fit into the local culture when we invest locally, internationally, and let them to be a part of the local community, etc. So, as I mentioned, so far our international business is growing much faster than our domestic business. And we are very proud of that.
I know personally you have been very active in the international operation of ICBC. And I just wondered, the principles you've just talked about, are there some fresh examples that you can share with us? Some of your personal anecdotes, possibly, something you experienced yourself and you can share with us. Probably that's better for our international viewers to understand really what's in front of you.
Well, I think there's so many examples. I think these things that happen daily that ICBC is carries through our culture, and certainly doing the way that we conduct our business. We have, as I mentioned, we have operations in 41 countries, and so far every one of them is, I'm proud to say, is profitable. And by doing few things right, one is you're really paying attention to the local market, the local culture, has that learning culture I mentioned. Secondly, each and every operation has a great team. Many of them are seconded from China. We actually have about 10,000 employees internationally. Only 500 of them are seconded from China. So 10,000 employees internationally is a lot of people. So how do you make sure they all embrace the culture of ICBC? To be very honest, it's a challenge, but we are working on that. And with that kind of culture, paying attention to being conservative, being risk averse, paying attention to clients, and obviously go with the local rules and regulations, and to pay our respect to our local regulators all the time. You have this kind of culture and really have a long and sustainable way of serving the local market, and that's some secrets of our early success so far.